Hello there. Welcome to Quality Management Part 1. In this section in quality, we're going to cover some of the basic 7 tools, some of the processes, and we'll even show you how to create a fishbone. But let's get started here. Our objectives here are we want to define what quality is and what TQM or Total Quality Management is. We want to explain what Six Sigma is, and we're going to look at how benchmarking is used in total quality management. We're going to define for you the 7 basic quality tools. We're going to examine the role of quality inspection. And so let's start off with, what is the operation manager's quality objective? An operation manager's objective is to build a total quality management system that identifies and satisfies the customer needs, and I'm going to say not only satisfies, but exceeds the customer needs if you want to stay competitive. What is quality? It's the ability of a product or service to meet the needs of the customer. And according to the official definition from the American Society for Quality, it's the totality of features and characteristics of a product or service that bears on its ability to satisfy stated or implied needs, and that would be from the customer. So quality actually improves your profitability. If you can reduce your costs and increase production, lower your rework, lower your scrap costs, and get rid of or lower your warranty costs, obviously you have increased profits. So the flow of activities is organizational practices, leadership. There has to be a mission statement, effective operating procedures, a staff support, training, and the yield is what is important and what is to be accomplished. And then the quality principles come in. It's a customer focus, continuous improvement, benchmarking, just-in-time lean practices, and using the tools of TQM. The yields are how to do what is important and to be accomplished. But you can't do that without employees. So you need employee fulfillment. Strongly recommended today, employee empowerment and an organizational commitment to ensure the employee is satisfied in the working conditions. The yields are employee attitudes can accomplish what is important. And most important, customer satisfaction. Winning orders, gaining repeat orders, all those help you maintain an effective competitive advantage in the workforce. So there are 3 implications of quality. The first is the company reputation. It's the customer's perception of their products or their new products. What are their employment practices? If they're in the news for unfair labor practices, that tends to take some people away from that business. And also important is your supplier relations. Second, product liability. You have to be held liable for your damage or injury to anyone as a result of the use of your products. And then there's global implications. Your products and service must meet global quality, design, and price expectations, especially price if you're going to be competitive. So because of that, there's the International Quality Standard, ISO 9000. ISO 9000 is a set of quality standards developed by the International Organization for Standards, and it's worldwide, global quality standards. ISO 9000 encourages quality management procedures requiring detailed documentation, work instructions, and record keepings, and most importantly, the concept of continuous improvement. The costs of quality are many. You have your prevention costs, and that's whatever you spend to reduce the potential for defects. And you have your appraisal costs. These are the activities that are used to evaluate products, parts, and service and try to expose defects. That means online quality inspectors testing product and measuring at different locations in the process. There's internal failure. Correct defective parts or service before you deliver it. So in case you find out you made a boo-boo in a process, now you have to spend extra labor fixing it before it goes out the door. And external costs. defects discovered after they're delivered to your customer. Which one do you think costs you the most? It would be external costs. If you see some of these car manufacturers with their car recall, recalling 1.3 million cars, that all costs money. And those costs get passed on to the supplier who made the defect. So the total cost of quality, as you see the scale, the largest is your external failure. And the more you apply quality improvement, the more those costs go down. Some of the quality gurus that contributed to the quality plan were Shewhart. He introduced control charts and variance reduction. Juran was fitness for use, quality trilogy. Crosby was the concept of quality is free. Ishikawa gave us the cause and effect diagram and introduced the idea of quality circles. And you can see here, each had a major contribution to quality. There are ethical concerns. Operation managers must deliver healthy, safe, quality products and services. Poor quality risks injuries, lawsuits, recalls, regulation, external costs. Organizations are judged by how fast they respond to problems. Everyone has problems, but the quicker you respond to them and fix them, the better your image is to the consumer. And having knowledge of defects or failures and failing to correct them or report them to your customer in a timely manner is not only unethical, it's unconscionable. You will lose business. Total quality management. We mentioned that earlier. So what is total quality management? It's the management of an entire organization so that it excels in all aspects of products and services that are important to your customer. The more you satisfy your customer, the more you're going to have repeat sales, the more you're going to have word of mouth growth from other new customers. Total quality management encompasses the entire organization from the supplier to the customer, and it definitely includes the employees. It stresses a commitment by management to have a continuing company-wide drive towards excellence in all aspects of products and services that are important to your customer. Why is that important? It should be obvious. Again, the more you produce quality products and quality service, the more that customer is going to stay with you. There are 7 concepts of TQM. 1, continuous improvement. 6 Sigma. Employee empowerment, probably one of the more important ones. Benchmarking. Just-in-time lean practices. Taguchi concepts. And a complete knowledge of the TQM tools. Continuous improvement. Well, what does that really mean? It involves all operations in all work centers, including your suppliers and your customers, meaning that you have to look at your people, your equipment, your materials, and your procedures on how you go about doing things. It represents a continual improvement of all processes and the philosophy of making each worker responsible for the quality of their work improves the outcome. The term Kaizen, what does that mean? Well, Kaizen describes the ongoing process of unending or continuous improvement. However, it's not a company-wide project. Kaizen teams are formed to improve one process or one segment at a time that's in need of improvement. And it may be a large process, but they'll look at the one stage or one section to improvement. And then after satisfying that it's quality process, then they'll move on to the next. So the process improvement is you select a process, you study it, you document it, measure, you look at ways to improve it, then you design an improved process, implement it. As it's working, you evaluate it, document what you did and whether it's a success or not. And if it's a success, you move on to the next one. If it's not, you repeat the whole process again. Shewhart's PDCA cycle was plan, identify the pattern and make a plan. Do, test out that plan. then check it. Is the plan working? If so, then act on it, implement it, document your success. If not, start over, plan, do, check again. So in planning, you study and document the current process. You collect data on the process or the problem that you're analyzing. Analyze that data and develop a plan. And you specify measures that you want to evaluate. Then doing it, you implement the plan, document any change that is made, and collect new data so that you can review that with the previous data to see if there is an improvement or not. Then you check, evaluate the data collected, check results against the goals from the plan to make sure you're on track, and then act. If it's successful, standardize this new method. Implement training for the new method. If it's unsuccessful, then you need to revise your plan and start over. Six Sigma. What do we mean? What does that mean? It's a program that is designed to save time, improve quality, and help lower your costs, remove waste, etc. A program to reduce defects, lower costs, and improve customer satisfaction. Most important. So basically, Six Sigma is the statistical definition of a process that is 99.9997% capable with only 3.4 defects per million opportunities, as in parts produced or events. Originally, it was developed by Motorola. It was then later adopted and enhanced by Honeywell and General Electric. It's a highly structured process to improvement. It's a strategy and it's a discipline of the simple acronym DMAIC. But it can't be accomplished without a major commitment from top-level management. You can't be down in the middle trying to push it out if the people above you don't support and endorse it. So the steps are define critical outputs and identifying gaps for improvement. Measure the work and collect the process data. Analyze that data. Improve the process. Control the new process to make sure the new performance is maintained, and then move on to the next one. Employee empowerment, that's what makes it all happen, folks. It's enlarging employee jobs so that the added responsibility and the authority is moved to the lowest level possible in the organization. Your employee on the line should be able to say, no, this is not a quality product, we're not using it. Getting employees involved in product and process improvements is the only way to go. 85% of your quality problems are due to the process or the material, not your employees. So your techniques are to build communication networks that include the employees, develop open, supportive supervisors. We don't need bosses and tyrants. Move more responsibility to the employees. Build yourself a high morale organization where everybody believes in what they're doing and they know they're being listened to, and create some formal team structures. Quality circles, very important. What are they? Simply, they're a group of employees meeting regularly with a facilitator to solve any work-related problems in their work unit or to make improvements. Benchmarking is another term that you should be looking at. What is it? It's selecting a demonstrated standard of performance that represents the very best performance for a process or an activity. Typically, businesses will look at another business who is more successful than them and then find out why, benchmark, and try to meet or exceed that same process. Steps for benchmarking are determine what. What are you going to benchmark? Then form a team. Identify your benchmarking partners, collect and analyze benchmarking information, and then take action to either match or exceed that benchmark so that you have the competitive advantage. Just in time, very important process in the lean manufacturing. It's a philosophy of continuous improvement and enforced problem solving. Just-in-time cuts the cost of quality. Just-in-time improves quality. And better quality means less inventory and better, easier to employ a just-in-time system. It's based on a pull system of production scheduling, including supply management, to where you're only producing what you need. You're not just mass producing a lot of parts, you're producing what you've actually sold so you don't have an excess in inventory. Therefore, it facilitates a reduced inventory level. Taguchi concepts. Design of engineering is a big one in Taguchi concepts. Engineering and experimental design methods to improve product and process design. You do this by identifying the key component and process variables affecting your variation. So the Taguchi concepts are quality robustness, quality loss function, and targeted oriented quality. Quality loss function is a term that means is a mathematical function identifying the costs connected with poor quality and shows how these costs increase as the product quality moves from what the customer wants. The more you move away from what the customer is wanting or the target value, the more you have a quality loss. Costs include customer dissatisfaction, warranty and service, internal scrap and repair, and costs to society. It kind of looks like this. We'll let it finish drawing out here. Six Sigma helps you regulate 3 sigma or 3 standard deviations from the target value. Anything beyond that is an outlier. It is not what the customer wants. It's unacceptable. You can still be within 6 sigma, but you might have fair to poor quality. The closer you get to 3 sigma is where you're going to get the best or good product. So the target-oriented quality yields more product in the best category. Target-oriented quality brings product toward the target value by driving it, by monitoring with SPC charts. And then conformance-oriented quality keeps products within 3 standard deviations, so there is no defect or poor quality to your customer. So let's look now at the 7 basic tools. These are tools for generating ideas. Check sheets, scatter diagrams, cause and effect diagrams. You brainstorm with those. Tools to organize the data are your Pareto charts and your flow charts. And tools to help you identify problems are the histogram and the statistical process control chart. So first up, it's a check sheet. What you do is you list the 3 items or variables that you want to monitor, and in each hour you mark whenever you have a defect. So you can see that 1 through 8 hours, defect A has 11 defects, number B has 10 defects, and number C has 9 defects. So you want to look at A first because that is the one producing the most defects. And a check sheet helps you identify which is the most occurring. Scatter diagram is a graph of the value of one variable versus another. So you can see as productivity goes up, absenteeism goes down. So productivity decreases with increased absenteeism. A cause and effect diagram is what we call a fishbone. It's a tool that identifies process elements or causes that could affect the outcome. Typically, it is material, manpower, machine, and methods. So let's look at an example. We have a basketball player who's trying to figure out why he's missing so many free throws. So first we're going to look at the material. Is it the grain or the feel? Is it the size? Air pressure? Is the ball lopsided at all? And what about the shooting method? Where is he aiming? Does he bend his knees? Does he have good balance? Hand position? Is he following through with the shot? And then the manpower. Did they have the proper training, conditioning? Are they motivated? Are they consistent? Are they concentrating? And then last, machine. What's the rim size of the hoop? the height? Is this backboard stable? What's the rim alignment? So you look at all those and try to figure out, why am I making so many missed free throws? Pareto chart is a graph to identify plot problems or defects in descending order of their frequency. A being the most frequent, B the next most frequent, and so on. So in our example here, we're going to look at the data for October from a hotel. 72% of the complaints were for bad room service, which was 54 complaints. 12 complaints were about the check-in process. 4 complaints were about the pool hours. 3% people didn't like the minibar, and 2% were just miscellaneous. So in looking at this chart, as a manager of the hotel, you can tell right away your problem is room service. Flow chart. It's a chart that shows the steps in a process. And if you know a flow diagram, you will know there are some times where there are and, or, and choice diagrams. So in our example for an MRI flow chart, here are the steps, and here is what the process is. At 7, if it's unsatisfactory, then you move back to number 5 and start over until you reach number 11. Histogram shows the frequency of occurrences of a variable. Right here in the first 3 are your target value, and the items that are on the outside are outliers, and quickly show you how much the product is deviating. A statistical process control chart helps you keep an upper and lower control limit so that you try to keep everything within those control limits. Anything outside of that is a potential defect or an outlier. So SPC uses statistics and control charts to tell when to take corrective action. It drives process improvement. There are 4 key steps. You measure the process. When a change is indicated, you find the assignable cause, and you eliminate it or you incorporate the cause into the process, and you restart the revised process to see if you have corrected it. So an SPC chart for the individual with the missed free throws, you can see that of the number of games that they played, how many free throws they missed, and on the 9th game, this person missed quite a few. So it kind of helps you plot the percentage of missed throws. Attributes versus variables. Attributes are items that you either count as good or bad, acceptable or unacceptable. It's what we call go, no go. If it's good, it's a go. If it doesn't meet the criteria, it's a no-go. But it doesn't address the degree of failure, and again, it's best if you measure these on check sheets. And in this way, at least, you find out what your major defect is. Variables, on the other hand, measure dimensions such as size, weight, speed, height, or strength, falling within an acceptable range, and they're best measured on run charts, SPC charts, or control charts. Inspection is really an important part of your process. It means ensuring the operations is producing at the level of quality that you're expecting. It involves examining the items to see if the item is good or defective, but it doesn't correct anything. It just merely detects it and lets you know that it's happening. When and where do we inspect? Well, you should always inspect at the supplier plant where your parts are coming from. Make sure that they have a quality process. Can't make quality if you're not getting quality. Then at your facility, check the products as they come in to make sure they are meeting your standard. If not, reject them. Do so before there's any costly or irreversible process. You don't want to make the product and find out, oops, it's the wrong part. Also do it during the step-by-step production process, which is your quality inspectors. When the production or service is complete, obviously check it before you send it out. So that is assured that it's quality before it goes to your customer. And it's nice if you can do that at the point of customer contact. A source inspection is controlling or monitoring at the point of production or purchase at the source. It's the next step in the process, and the next step is your customer. No matter, even if you're within a facility and you're one station producing a part for the next station, the next station is your customer. And you want to ensure that you're giving your customer a perfect product. A poka-yoke. I don't know if you've ever heard the term, but it's a device or technique that ensures the production of a unit is good every time. It's a concept of foolproof design or techniques designed to pass only acceptable product. In most cases, if the product is not the way it's supposed to be, the line will shut down. Now, is there such a thing as service quality? Absolutely. But service quality is a little more difficult to measure than the quality of goods because you're not looking at a tangible physical item. Service quality perceptions depend on intangible differences between products and intangible expectations customers have of those products. One may see one thing and want this, and another customer may want a different type of service. So it's tough. You can't just put a number on it. Here's a quick picture of the Alaskan Airlines service quality, what they check, how long it takes, all doors closed 2 minutes before departure, etc. It's their manner of doing a service quality check. Service recovery is training and empowering the frontline workers to solve a problem right then, immediately. Managers should have a plan for when services fail so that, okay, if it fails, everybody should know what to do next. The Hotel Marriott uses the LEARN routine with all their employees, and that is listen, empathize, apologize, react, and notify. So, is there more you should know? Absolutely. We hope that you'll visit part 2 as we get into some of the other items of quality a little bit deeper. Thank you for viewing and have a wonderful day.